Welcome to Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Saraya Mentor. And on this show, we get to interview Africans who've traveled beyond their home countries. It is all about celebrating culture and identity. Today's guest uses the art and craft of freezing a frame and capturing a lifetime moment of memories and joy. We are joined by portrait photographer Bim Oyediran. Hi, Bim.
Hi, Sarah. So good to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you. You're the first, I can say the first UK friend I have that I know from UK. So I'll be bragging about that for a week. How is your day today?
It's been good. Just started up this morning, so I think I'm in Ireland, it's about an hour behind. But I was very excited this morning. It's like I get to speak on Africa Beyond Borders, and also I get to meet my first Namibian friend. So I'm very excited.
Yay! Well, this is what the essence of the show is. It's really about getting to know one another and how we can celebrate our stories as descendants of Africans and just people in general. So tapping into your childhood, I know you were born and raised in UK, but I'd love to just understand how your childhood was like for you, coming from different cultural backgrounds.
Yes, I think one of the things I do remember growing up in the UK for me was we lived not too far away from my cousins. So a lot of my childhood we were in and out each other's houses. So my mum's brothers and his kids, and we grew up together. Went for a period of time. We were at the same schools. I remember always having family around. I had my mum's younger sister, my auntie was around. She used to look after us as well. So growing up in the UK, going to school in our neighborhood, we lived in East London, but also remembering most of my happy times, my good times, birthdays, etc., were very much with extended family around us. So those are my core memories.
Have your family around. I absolutely agree with that. Like just that community being home. Just to tap into what do you think home means for you now as a traveler who's been around Africa and around the world?
That's a big question. It's something I still try and put in, define, but I've my current definition for home now is where my family are, and I have family in the UK, in Ireland, in Spain, in the Netherlands, and so I most where I know I can be fully myself is with my family, and wherever they are, that's where home is. So that's kind of my current conclusion. It might change, but that's where I am now.
I love hearing that. So tapping into just your journey around Africa, it's Cote d'Ivoire, it's Ghana, it's the Gambia. So how did this traveling journey start for you? Why did you pursue traveling?
Yeah. So what happened was this was back in 2014. My dad passed away, and while I grew up in the UK and I even spent some of my childhood in Nigeria, my sense of self was very much I'm a British person. That was how I viewed myself at the time. But when my dad passed away, I realized my next year was kind of gone. So, like I said, my mum's family, most of them were in the UK as well. Most of my mum's brothers and sisters were born in the UK, so we're very, very British on that side of the family. But I just realized I don't. What does it mean to be Nigerian? What does it mean to be African? What is? I had so many questions, and my dad, who would have been the one I would have been able to speak to about all of this, because he's a very proud Yoruba man. That's one of the ethnic groups in Nigeria. He wasn't there, so it kind of me trying to I was reading books, listening to that was kind of a bit too early to the podcast, but listening to a lot of YouTube videos. I spent hours trying to figure this out, and then it kind of ended with, I'm going to go, I'm going to travel around Africa. Um, there wasn't really anybody out there that had done it before, and there was social media, Instagram, YouTube, and things like that, but it's not like there was today, where there's so many people you can watch and find out what's going on. So I was combing through Trip Advisor forums to try and find out, okay, how do I get from Senegal to Gambia by road? I
Yeah.
was looking at the only resources I had. What was it called? There's one particular guidebook. It's a really old series of guidebooks, which the name escapes me. Um, So I literally had to figure this out on my own, but it was the best thing I ever did. Um, and I'm so glad I was able to do it then. I realized that I went in 2018, which was quite a while ago now.
Mm.
But that's how this all kind of came about. I kind of countries were being added as I went, because I know initially Ghana and Senegal for sure, but the other ones kind of got added on the way. So I've ended up Ghana, Senegal, the Gambia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Togo. Um, so this is how this all came about.
I think it's, I just think it's so beautiful that you took the stand to say, hey, even though a part of who I am disappeared kind of with my dad, I still decided, let me go and explore who he is and where he comes from. I just think that's so beautiful and left me speechless. But from your travels experience, I'm just going to skip ahead because I would normally ask this at the end. But just from your experience now in Northern Africa, how did you perceive yourself coming from UK, but this is kind of where part of your family comes from? How was that relationship with yourself internally?
Oh yeah, it was mind changing, because one of the things when I told people this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to go backpacking across West Africa. It's not even East Africa or South Africa where people go and have been doing it for years. You go a single woman by yourself across West Africa. What are you doing? And the biggest thing, I guess people are trying to help, and I understand it. It's like, and I'm worried about my safety was when they see you, they're gonna know that you're a foreigner. Yes, yes, you have Nigerian heritage. Yes, you have Nigerian parents, but they're gonna see by your walk, where you talk, you're a foreigner. They're gonna cheat you. They're gonna scam you. They're gonna. This is the way I had it to go. So I was on. I remember being on the plane. So I got the plane stopped in Madrid in Spain. Then we flew, and I was terrified. I was looking around me on the plane, and all these beautiful Senegalese people. So they were speaking Wolof. I didn't understand what they were saying. Like, what am I doing? But when I landed, I landed in Dakar. Oh, sorry, the most to today. This was the one of the best highlights of my life. And I landed in Dakar, and I'm walking out the airport. I'm
Hmm.
walking to the streets, and the billboards are full of beautiful black people.
Wow.
I don't know. And people who haven't, I lived in the UK where we do have black representation in media and things. But every billboard, advertisement, and not were there only, there were black people, there were dark skinned people like me.
Wow.
People talk to me. They wouldn't speak to me in French. They wouldn't speak to me in English. They'll straight up speak to me in Wolof. Just that because they just assumed I was one of them. And all the fear and all the worry just went. And the other thing as well is growing up in a Western country, it's kind of changed a bit now, but back then, Nigerians didn't have the best reputation.
Mm.
So coming to Senegal, and I tell people, oh, I'm Nigerian, I'm visiting. I want to see your beautiful country.
Hmm.
And the people had such good things to say about Nigerians. So we love your food, we love your music. Oh, I have a Nigerian
Oh,
neighbor, I have a
wow.
Nigerian who I used to do business with, and it's like we love Nigerians. I'm like, no, sir.
That is such a
Oh no,
flip of
Senegal.
events. I love that for you so much.
Oh no, it was beautiful. Senegal is. I took Dakar is my favorite African country, African city,
Hmm.
because they just what they did for me. They'll never understand what they did for me just by existing.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. Just the fact that you said, I didn't even realize like seeing a black person on a billboard would be a big deal until you brought that forward. I think that it's absolutely beautiful that you had that experience. Before we go on a break, I just want to tap into a traveling tip for another, say maybe someone from UK coming to Africa. What's one advice, or maybe two, that you'd give to them if they want to travel to Africa for the first time for their traveling experience?
Yes, I definitely advise you to um, all your documents. So a copy of your passport, your travel insurance, your tickets, everything. Have it in paper. Now we know it's very convenient. You have everything on your phone, but things can happen. So always have a paper copy of everything. So that's one big advice. The other big advice as well is to now we have social media. We have WhatsApp groups. Try and or Facebook groups, find the expat groups for people living in that country, and join the group, introduce yourself and say, I'm going to be here on these dates. Can anyone I can meet? And they can give you advice as well. And you can search through the groups or
Mm-hmm.
ask advice. So expat groups are a great resource for information because they know what's going on the ground at the time. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
bit more current than social media or website maybe. So print out your stuff, join the expat groups.
I love a good practical advice. You can't go wrong, but I think that's one of the areas, the tedious areas that comes with traveling. So the more advice, the better. Right after this, we're going to go on a quick dive into Bim's experience into Africa and her photography journey. Stay tuned on Africa Beyond Borders.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative Sport Tourism.
Hello, salam, sabona. Welcome back to Africa Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Saraya Mentor. On this show, we get to chat to amazing travelers who've went beyond their home countries. It is all about celebrating culture and identity. Still with us is professional photographer Bim Oyediran, here to share her experiences. So now we're just going to tap into your cultural experience. As someone who mainly stayed in both UK, Ireland, and a bit of Nigeria, how would you compare these three major cultures to one another?
Yes. Oh, that's kind of in some ways. I think I'll start with Nigerian Ireland, and I think there's some similarities. Like both of us were colonized by the British. The sense of family and community, and how very much other people determine kind of your choices and what's important, and the values are very, it looks different, but those are quite core, I find, between Ireland and Nigeria. Even, for example, there's this idea with the Irish mammy, she's the mum, the matriarch of the house that has the power, and she makes sure things run. I think there's a very similar idea within the Nigerian context as well, of the woman of the house who does so much, probably more than she should. As well, music. I love Irish music. They're amazing singers. Again, similar to us, me as a Nigerian, our culture, our music, our song, poetry, languages as well. So my family's Yoruba. So my dad always used to, when he was alive, he used to tell me, Yoruba is poetry. Yoruba is poetry. And I can see that in it when I don't speak Irish, but I can see when I hear it and people explain in different terms. Even the way the Irish speak English, they very much made it their own. And there's certain phrases that they say that, like, I love this way they say like a million thank yous. That comes from their culture, so of saying so many thank yous to somebody. Even though certain terms, the way they describe things and people is, sometimes they say it in English, but it's very Irish. So I guess it's the same way we would do in Nigeria with our pidgin. So yes, we technically is using English words, but it's ours. We're using English to say what we want to say. So Ireland and Nigeria, I think because of our histories and things like that, with colonization and things like that, there's a lot of similarities.
Mm-hmm.
The UK, there is, I think it's layered for me because there's the whole London culture, and London is very multicultural, many different people from different places. So you kind of tap into different communities and start understanding how they do things and how similar or not similar you are. I think for most places around the world, community, family, no matter what the culture is or what continent or where you're from, that is central to how your culture developed and things like that. I would say, in comparison to maybe the English, British, and Nigerian, is that we're definitely more vivacious. We're more ostentatious. We, especially with our fashion, our
Yeah.
clothes, and our parties and our things. So, like, we go out. Like, so if you're gonna have a party, no, it's not tea and biscuits. We are we're gonna kill the cow, the ram. It's gonna be meat. There's gonna be jollof rice. You're gonna do it properly. And how our use of colors, in our symbols, in our textiles, our hairstyles, and things like that. It's very vibrant. Um, I do. It's different in the UK because and it also depends on kind of classes and places it's in the UK as well, what class you use and
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the idea of the stiff upper lip, and you just keep things internal, and you don't overexpress yourself. But then, like I said, I'm a Londoner, so we're loud. So
I absolutely love that. Thank you for diving into all the three different areas and comparing them. I was just like listening. I was like, oh, it's my turn to speak. I absolutely love the information. Now, as a photographer who has traveled and captured beautiful images around Africa and your parts of the world, how would you say your photography journey has kind of changed, being influenced by new cultures?
oh yes, that's a good question. I think I recently was able to travel to Thailand, and that kind of that definitely gave me a different look into my photography because when I realized when I got to Thailand is that how colorful it was, and that's everything. The that's from their temples to their food, the way they cook their food, display their food. There's just color everywhere, all over the place, and so I realized I someone who love color, and like I was saying earlier, like Nigerian culture, there's a lot of color in our culture. But having lived in Ireland and the UK for so long, where I guess their relationship with color is a bit different, and the types of colors they use, being in a place where it's just exploding with color, I just realized I forgot how much this is important to me, and I want to do focus more on color going forward with my photography. So that would be one way travels influence my photography, and also what I was speaking with people who speak a different language. And if I wanted to photograph them, I'm always cautious about photographing people, and giving people dignity and things like that. So, but it was a pleasant surprise when I was in Thailand. I'll go up to people and say, "Can I take your photo?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and they'll let me take. And I'll show them my photo. Do you like this? Should I take another one? And so that was good for me, and also that kind of because that always makes me nervous going up to a stranger and asking to take their photo because I don't want to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the Thai people are really lovely, kind people, and yeah, they made that a bit easier for me.
Oh, I love Thai food. So I'll have this experience through your eyes. I'm sharing this your experience with myself kind of. I actually love that. So just tapping into I love how you said about colors. So now as a Namibian, if I had to go to UK, I'm sorry, I mean Ireland for the first time and I just would want to experience your culture and what you define as your community, what would be some of the activities you'd make me do and where would you take me?
That's good. That's a good point. Definitely, I think would there's some of the tourist things I really like doing in Ireland. For example, I like the Epic Museum, which is this like museum which describes the story of migration of Irish people. I do think
Mm-hmm.
it's a must go because especially with people um, who've either been colonized or who have migration maybe in their history and things like that. I think definitely go to see and kind of get an understanding. Another place I'll take you to is Grafton Street, which is in Dublin too. Which is where all the shops are, all like the
Oh,
high-end shops. I
nice.
love walking down that street.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't have the money to go into the shops, but I like walking down the street. Another place I would go is Phoenix Park. I think it's the biggest. I don't know if it still is one of the biggest. At one point in time, it was the biggest park in Europe. It's massive, and they
Wow.
actually have wild deer like in the park. But you can go if you're someone who likes walking, likes nature, likes park. Definitely, you want to have a stop over at Phoenix Park. So there will be some of the things to do. If you want something a bit more to like the everyday kind of things, I'm a part of a group of artists called Draft. Sorry,
Oh,
the
it's
name is
okay.
completely gone from my brain.
It will come to you naturally.
um, so it's a group for artists, and we do different events throughout the month. So for example, this week we have a poetry night that's mainly focusing on the male experience. I'll definitely invite you to, if there's an event going on while you're here, definitely come down, because it's a way to meet other people, um, and just to have fun. You people get a chance to collaborate, write together. We do different activities together, even with like wellness practices. So it's a really great space. We kind of meet like maybe once or twice a month.
Oh, nice.
Rough draft
Nice.
creatives.
Rough
That's
draft
the name.
creatives.
Creatives, rough draft creatives, yeah.
And I know one of them. Yay! That's a yay on me. So just before we go, you started out the interview saying, what does it mean to be Nigerian, coming from two different cultures and growing up in two different cultures? How would you define yourself if someone was to ask you, who are you and where are you from, Bim?
I My line is I am Nigerian British living in Ireland.
Ooh, nice and simple.
Nigerian British living in Ireland. Yeah, that's what I say now.
I love that. I love how you're embracing your cultures. I love how you continue exploring and learning. It's stories like this that matter in Africa beyond borders, and make me proud to be African, to be sharing experiences and learning from you as well. Thank you, Bim, for sharing your journey here in Africa Beyond Borders. We love it.
Thank you so much, Soraya. Thank you. I've had a great time, and it's helped me remember things as well. So thank you for letting me share.
Well, there you guys have heard it. Beam has joined us here in Africa Beyond Borders. I don't know about you guys, but I have UK friends now. You can catch us every Monday here on DSTV, channel 285, GoTV, channel 25, and you can stream amazing episodes like these on oneup2.com every Monday at 8:30 p.m. From me, Saraya, and the Africa Beyond Borders team, it's goodbye.